thought I'd take a quick go around video of the bus. And so what I'll do is, first of all, show you what I don't need to carry with me. This is the generator, 2.4 kilowatts. So it's got the 3-phase kind of plugs, looking plugs, and the converter there to the UK one because that's where I bought it. And actually all the plug systems inside the bus are all UK, which I don't really care about. You know, it's not, you can actually plug a European plug into a UK plug just by putting a chopstick in the top pin. So as you see on here, I roll this thing out and that goes straight to grid power if I need it, or if I want to use it. Stops me having to turn the engine on or use the generator or have so the solar is, I think 100 watt, is it? I can't remember. Anyway, all the electronics are in here, inverter and everything, and 6 laser batteries there. I've got a couple of pumps, so I've got a spare pump, and then I've got a pump that's used for the toilet, and then an extra, this big pump here is used for the shower and the sink, so that just so you can have a better high pressure kind of shower, you know, not some little thing that's spitting on you. You can have that when you need it. By the way, in case anyone ever has this sort of situation and you start blowing micro switches, what you do is you bridge. My dad is an electronics expert better than me, because I also did electronics years ago, and he said that it's when you have a DC motor that goes, it's the initial momentum. Well, to make the initial momentum, you have a big surge that happens. To stop that surge making an arc, you just install, in the case of this, which is going across a 12 volt scenario, I would use around about a 5,000 ohm resistor, and that's what I've done across those points, and it has actually worked. I haven't blown any more micro switches now. It's a pressure switch that sits in here, right? Other water switches are across the line. You know, they work on pressure. They're quite completely separate, so you need to run something. So that's why the wire under the black wire, that actually comes from another line that comes to, well, that red line there, basically. That's got a switch in the toilet that you know, sends back to here. So this kind of system is better, it's more centralized. In some ways, it's better. The AC unit's definitely overpowered for what I require, but when you overpower something, you actually make it more efficient. Like, for example, I can cool this thing down in seconds. More power, like Tim the Toolman Taylor. You got your breaker box in here. Everything all labelled up. They're all set at 6 amp, so one of them could do with being set to 10. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's not important. Just reset it again when it trips. I didn't redo the wheels. I just put on these covers. I was going to do a lot of work to this, but I'm not going to bother. So what I am going to do is get these sides done up. I'm going to take that off. There's a little bit of rust under the thing that holds these on. That's why I've been scraping the paint off, because it was bubbling. The guy kind of agreed with one of my closest friends in the UK who bought this thing with me, Ahmet, and because he's a mechanic too, he was saying that just leave it, just drive it. In Europe it's not going to degrade like it does in the UK. So I'm just going to get some simple work done, like the toe and the tracking and everything from these front wheels. Get them matched up so they're both Continentals or both the same brand. It's not good to have the two brands of tire either side in case you've got an emergency braking situation. Already done suspension, new airbags in here. So yeah, all that's kind of sorted for the handling. Handling's actually pretty good. All LED lights at the back. Even these are LED lights, you know, those the ones that have got the metal thing either side of the tube. They're that kind of replacement LED reversing camera there. I need to actually get a cover for that, and but when if I put in a security system, I'm not sure if I should bother with it, because I'm around the thing all the time. I don't leave it alone really. I did the same thing with this side, so I've been scraping all this stuff off, so that basically this will just be, I have something possibly ground out and welded for it to screw into, then put this back together again, because you see the aluminum panels here, sorry, aluminium. I'm back in the normal world now. It's called its proper name. aren't sticking. Well, these aren't those panels get brought together by this beating here. So basically, once I get that back on again, spray these sides only, not going to bother spraying the roof. But what I'm thinking of doing before I get to Spain, or maybe in Spain, is putting a vinyl wrap on it, just the roof, just to make the roof silver. I may do it so you don't see it. So I might make a line, for example, at the top, so from the side you still see a blue bus, only from the top you see a complete silver thing. So that's the idea there, just to reflect some heat. It means that when you have it parked up, you can have more days worth of power on the batteries. I can actually jumpstart the thing with these batteries here. If those ones went flat, there's a configuration at the front to allow that to happen. But I mean, these batteries are new. You can do the same the other way around. You can actually get these to give more power to the front ones, but you wouldn't really want to do that, because at the end of the day, this is to get you started, isn't it? You need. There you go. And these are fairly new. So yeah, together with the two of those, you've got like 280 amp hours just out of those two batteries alone. So the thing doesn't really have a shortage of power. Right. Oh, here's the thing that I did the other day that made me feel good. It was more a psychological thing than anything else. Because just like everyone in the world, everyone knows the English, not all the English, but England's government went around the world and basically pilfered and succubied the whole world. So they don't have a really good reputation anyway. When you see your English, it's kind of like, people can smile at you and pretend they like you, but they don't really. So I just put Scottish plates on there, just to let people know that I live in one of the oppressed countries. I'm from one of the oppressed countries that England rapes before it rapes everyone else. So just so people are aware of that. Oh yeah, all LED at the front. So you got 3 H1 lamps. I've used, what's it called again? Night Eye, the company called Night Eye. They've changed to a different brand name recently, but they used to be called Night Eye. You'll still find them. So 3 H1 lights, and I can't remember the other type of light that's in there, but there's 4 lights in total. You probably got just over 65,000 lumens from both of those. And then you've got these ones down here, which are, they use them in the front of Harleys and things, some those kind of style bikes. So that goes with the normal side lighting. Those two turn on, or the whole thing brightens up if you put on high beam. So my friend in the UK did all that up for me. My other friend tinted these windows here because all the windows were smashed out. So this is the thing, right? This vehicle it said valuation of 15 to 20. We put in a bid for £5,000 on copart.co.uk, which is very difficult to get an account for. So we thought, yeah, let's lowball it for 5k. Got it for £1,000, right? Stuck this in it. This is Sat-Nav and stereo system, Bluetooth. That's the steps for my dog to get in and out if he's having one of those days. He's getting old. And this is a makeshift seat because it doesn't need to be there. I was going to put one of these ones that sit against there. I just cannot be arsed. It's just like me most of the time. And when it's not, people can hang out in the back anyway. So I use the top beds for just as my cupboards. And so you've got LED light here. Everything has got LED light. It's got USB ports in here, and your vents. Right, so that's, every pod is the same. They've got foam mattresses, except for one of them that's got a kind of more somewhere between a foam and a memory foam, which is the one I sleep on at the bottom. There you go. See. Right, another sleeping pod right across here, same bedding, other side. That's weird, I got this symmetry shit going on. My bed is this side here at the bottom, because in the winter time it's cooler in the bottom. So, and I have the curtain open at night, or else I sleep at the back. And here's my dog's one. He owns this space here. Yep. So you see the roof. Oh, actually, I got these picked these Bose speakers up before I left the UK, so I didn't have to have these annoying big speakers at the front that I had before. Gives a bit more viewing space. This camera goes backwards to see who's coming in and out, and also you know, in case there's any crazy drivers, I can prove that they couldn't drive for shit. It's a 5-speed manual, 4-litre 4-cylinder diesel, so it's a 1.5 million kilometre or million mile motor, as they call them. The skylights here all open up. I'm not going to open it right now because I've got the AC on. I just put these over because, you know what, it's just simple, it's easy. I can probably design some kind of thing that goes on there, but it would be more clutter to leave around the place, so what's the fucking point? These are all blue LEDs here, they turn on. I'll show you. So there's my wee boy. So under where Rumble's sitting, you can also get into that water tank that you saw at the back below the pump. You'll notice that all the AC outlets have got USB on them as well, except for that one up there. But that one's a higher amperage load. We'll be going to get that breaker on it. It's got thicker cabling going to it. The AC unit is definitely overpowered for this size of thing, but that's a good thing. It's you know, you get the whole place cool, like freezing cold within seconds. You've got so this I work from here, so I live and work in the bus, right? So that's a 46 or 48 inch TV with a Cambridge audio amplifier there, and that old school mini disc player underneath it, because I had it stored in a place and had all these mini discs here with tunes that yeah, from years ago. So yeah, just keep my stuff here basically. Mission speakers sound pretty good. I've also got the subwoofer that goes with it down underneath that seat. These are all real leathers. They're real tough. They're hard wearing. Cassette toilet, full size. There's no point. I just can't be bothered squishing into things if you don't have to. I know in Britain there's no choice. People live in each other's armpit and everything. They kind of like that there. Like, oh, is it? What's this? Oh, it's really warm. That's your nutsack. Oh, hi neighbour. I don't like that kind of living. I lived in America for a while as well. I lived in Australia. I like the space. So I stuck in that extractor fan, which did lose me that shelf there in some ways, because I had to move that forward to fit in the ducting there. Anyway, doesn't matter. Not like I need all that space. So cassette toilet, and so electric flush. One of the pumps comes. One of the pumps is the one that I spoke about before. Oh, I must be out of water. Everyone using it when we were on that wee trip. Yeah, the shower is pretty strong. What can I say? It's a strong shower. It was stronger. So that's a 24 volt pump that I switched to 12 volts. So I've got both feeds under there, so I can choose either. And because the bus is 24 volt, because you know buses and trucks are 24 volt. So I've got my kitchen area here, microwave, all my storage. I might do what everyone else does and put those things under later on, but right now I just don't have that much clutter and shit that I want to. And I've driven all over Scotland, Wales, but this is the washer dryer. Scotland, Wales, all the way down to here. I'll list the countries later on. So this is a washer and dryer in one, so I can do that when I'm going and have the clothes waiting for me. The oven here, just a cheapie from the UK. I was going to put an extractor fan here, but after cooking on it, I found that I just don't need it. It's just pointless. I can just set up the fan and it cleans the whole, it just pushes the air all through. So some things you can find that you do because oh, I need to have that because that's what a house has, you know, like this, for example, just safety stuff. But these curtains, oh yeah, a house has to have curtains to block in something. No, these actually perform a function. When you leave the front windows open, this creates a barrier. This is about 3-4 degrees hotter in here, and this can be about 10 degrees hotter in here. But you want to still leave it open because you want to have, you know, fresh air coming in. You could close the whole thing up. I don't know. I just like fresh air coming in. Dries things out. So let me think what I haven't mentioned. Oh yeah. So the countries that I've been to so far in this, let me list them. Started off with Scotland. Oh, the back. Let me show you the back here. Started off with Scotland and went around the Cornwall coast in England as well, and went around Wales. I should have put these on sooner, Scottish plates. I'm getting a lot better reaction from Bulgarians now than I did when I just had ones that could possibly be from England. Just pointing that out there. So the either side of the roof, there's these ductings at the top. One of them I've already got coming out from the one on the right hand side. It's the one with the pipe that comes from the bathroom goes to. This one here, what I want to do is I want to put some kind of brushless motor, but they're not really noisy, so I need to mount it somewhere it's not going to be noisy, to come from this area and basically duct this area out. Because I'm not going to have the generator in there anymore, so it's going to be, I don't really know what I'll use this for now. I just don't see the point of having the Jenny. There's nowhere I can go, because this, if the motor's fucked, then I'm fucked. Then I can just survive. Well, I can still survive off of solar power anyway. So the generator is kind of a waste of time, because the engine is a generator and it's a 1,000,000 mile motor, you know. So, and it's done only 200,000. So as long as I keep on maintaining it properly, which I'm going to do very shortly, when I get some of this work done on the side and underneath, and check all the brakes out and everything like that, maybe service the engine brake if that needs done. I think it's actually electromagnetic. It's kind of like a braking assist that runs on the drive shaft. Anyway, God, what else can I show you really? These guys do these videos and they go around their cameras. They seem to show quite a lot, and it's sometimes smaller than mine. And I wonder how, because I have everything I need. I wonder what is it I'm missing out. Maybe I'm rushing. I don't know. But anyway, the thing up there, I'm gonna make a ventilation shaft coming up. And what I'm trying to figure out though is how to have the intake. I don't want it sucking dust, because at the back of the bus you will end up getting dust. So this, what I was thinking of doing was, I've got these big, you know, like from a GTR, like a Skyline. I've got these two big air filters, K&N air filters. I was thinking about drilling that a bit bigger, and this one a bit bigger this side, and putting the K&N filters on there, so that when they suck the air in, they're getting filtered through that. And just put some tubes to mount them on. As I said, it's a good thing about when you live in your when your house is your vehicle, you can just keep on making it better and better and better. I know the same way you do with a normal home, but I find this so much more enjoyable. So yeah, that's what I'll probably put something like that in. It will suck in air from the bottom. I'll have to clean it out every few weeks or something, or who knows how frequently it will be. But I do have them inside ready to go. I've got AC power here as well at the front, so I'm no point getting overcomplicated. I'm just going to stick in a big grunty fan behind me and just go, because it hasn't got AC here. It's got AC at the back. You don't want to run the AC where it's going until I have that venting system in. I like the way it looks kind of yacht-like in here, you know. A friend of mine gave me these lens covers. I used that one because it's a blue light one. The orange one was kind of washed out looking, and what other colour did I have? Blue, just looked too cold. But what I have done is I'm going to change it. This is a very white look LED light, where that one's a lot nicer looking. So I used them in the bathroom. So I'm thinking of changing everything actually for those. I think they're about between 10 to 20 bucks a lev each, which is like, I don't know, something like 10 American around about there. Yeah, that's about it. I think I've mentioned pretty much everything. Those curtains were originally from a third bunk that was here. So I bought the thing that had been vandalized. It didn't have the shower in there, and it had 3 more bunks here. So I had 9 bunks. I had a kitchen area, but just some pathetic little piddly sink. So put this one in instead. Hot water heater down there, Ariston water heater. That's 30 litres. The one that's, now I can show you Rumble's moved. The one that's under here, I just had some friends with me yesterday. So Still cleaning up. Yes, that one there is a 60 litre. And I just washed this all out because I had dust all in it from, again, coming and getting sucked in the back. There's those 100 amp hour batteries there, so they were like a Tesla system, still back to the grid. Here's the power here. As I told you, I've got an option of both the 12 and 24 volt that comes straight from those, that system, battery system here, and the inverter. Yeah, just kind of, I like labeling things up properly. So this pipe that comes off here into that garden hose connection, that's the hose that's used to fill it. So you don't have to mess about. You don't have to take the lid off, or you can fill it that way. When I was in Austria, I filled it up with the beautiful river water. So you can do it that way. But what I'm thinking of doing is maybe just sealing that up when I put the flooring on. So I've got a few things I still want to do. I'm thinking of doing flooring that's basically the same colour as this, so it kind of looks, I don't know, like a beige cocoon. And so many people say beige is boring, but I think it still looks all right. No point going for colours that end up looking garish once the style wears out. And there we have it. Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's about all I can show you. Oh, dual smoke detector and what's it called? Carbon dioxide or monoxide, just in case, you never know. Make sure you don't die in a cocoon, like basically die in a big blue coffin. That would suck, wouldn't it? And I set up this the other day because I'm set up at my brother's house for a while in the north of Bulgaria. Fruit trees everywhere. I kind of like it here, but I still prefer it I like Germany a lot. It's funny that the places that are the most controlled are the places that, like California and Germany, that when you actually become a off-grid living kind of crypto hippie, or whatever you want to call me, digital nomad, those are the freest places. It's weird. Like, you go to places that are kind of a little bit third worldish, the cops are still papers, all this kind of stuff, and trying to find an excuse to give you a ticket for something. Or when you go to places that are just kind of Naziist, like fascist Naziist, like Austria, for example, they just love any old excuse to impose the law. Hungary, Austria, same kind of thing. If you're traveling through Europe and you go to every country in Europe and you're telling me a story and you say, I only got to find in 2 countries, I'll tell you those countries will be, well, actually, if you go up North Scandinavia as well, you'll probably find it'll be Norway, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, all the places that are over socialist, right? The places that are, because the worst places in the world that you'll always find, if something's too socialist or too capitalist, because socialism and capitalism, contrary to popular belief, completely serve each other, because capitalism malforms into crony capitalism. Socialism malforms into something that has social benevolence behind it, into something that is socialism for the rich. And both become the same thing, because crony capitalism is effectively corporate socialism. So the two malform into one unholy union, and this is why you're seeing what you're seeing all around the world. And you still get the idiots that are indoctrinated by the media and that are into bipartisan politics, that really believe they have a choice, who will say things as ridiculous as, I want to give examples. I'm just saying the rhetoric that happens between the left and right. It's all a distraction. Don't take part in it. Don't be an idiot. Anyway, that's about it really. As I say, just gonna give this generator to my brother, because I really can't see the case for actually needing it. Wanting it, yeah. Having it there, perhaps. But I don't like having wasted stuff now. I don't see the point of it. Even if I end up in a real third world place, someone can fix my engine, or else if they can't fix the engine, why do I want to just sit there with a generator anyway? And, especially you've got power coming in through solar if you are stuck outside. So what do you really need the generator for? therefore she gone. As far as what do you call it, fuel efficiency, this thing is horrendously efficient. So I used to have let me put this down. I used to have what is called the Big Pig, which was a I don't know, somewhere around 2000 model 3-liter turbo diesel Toyota Hilux Surf. You know, that thing used to use as much diesel as this. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know how they do it. The thing weighs 8.5 tons. How the F do you do that? Well, I have no idea, but they do it. So you got to push this big drivetrain, these big wheels, this humongous weight, and yet we just spent 200 leva. So basically 100 liters of 100 liters of diesel, and we just went around about 400 miles. And I don't know if you will see my fuel gauge, but it didn't even quite use half a tank. And that's all over Europe, and notice the same thing everywhere I've been. And it goes back down when you take the key out. Don't worry about it. But yeah, it was just I got back, and it was just at the high end of that half mark there. So couldn't have chose a better starting rig for this. You know, it's a commercial vehicle, so it's made to be extremely reliable. Whereas an RV, they know they're selling it to public. It doesn't need to be reliable, you know what I mean? Because that's the thing that's disgusting in this world, is the built-in obsolescence of everything instead of making things last. And this goes back to capitalism again. It's if you can imagine in the future, when you see spaceships flying around, there will not be any room for error. There won't be any room for screw-ups. So, you know, things will be built properly. We'll probably have solid titanium chassis, monocoque designs, things like that, you know what I mean? So it would be basically exoskeleton design spacecraft with compartments inside. Nothing will be built to break. It's like the Edison light bulb still going, you know what I mean? Whereas now everything's built to break Chinese style at the moment. And even the Chinese are starting to make better stuff because they did that out of necessity to build their economy. Will they carry on like that? I don't think so. I think they'll start to improve their standards. People already want better things out there. So, yeah, I think they'll probably end up being the center of the world, the next superpower. Not necessarily when taking on America. It might be a case of, well, Britain and everywhere else, and all over Europe and the rest of the world would just go, like, we're all standing together, hand to hand. America, you need to go. You're like the guy at the party that shat himself and still wants to dance. You know what I mean? Too many mistakes, too much greed. You've stolen someone's handbag too many times, and we've found 4 people's cell phone in your bag. You know, that kind of party guest. You know what I mean? You also raped a dog. You know, we've got these pictures on the that were taken on the nanny cam. I mean, you just need to go. You know, all these things have happened, and England's the same. But the good thing is England's no longer a threat to the world, because they can't push forth the will of the elite. It's not the English, it's the English elite. I always say this. It's just, please don't take offense if I say English or American. I love America and I love England, and I love the Americans and English people. I just cannot stand your elite. You have the worst, most parasitic elite on the planet, bar none. You know, probably closely followed by countries like Saudi Arabia, Pakistan. I'm sure there's a lot in India that are horrible tyrants as well. You know, no one's got a monopoly on assholes, but some assholes are just better than other assholes. That's all. Better at being an asshole. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. Really, was my boss, and I've sidetracked again, like I always do. I'm sure I can say something more about it. I know I'll forget when I get off the call. Oh yeah, I put it's got 2 reservoirs under there for the air pressure, so I put a new one on there. Put new airbags, and the dryer and the oil filters I'm going to get all redone as well soon, because I've done another 6,000-7,000 miles since I got the thing. Yeah, that is really it. Yep, I think that's it. Awesome. Oh yeah, that tow bar, big solid thing. My friend welded it all up. So I can probably take a motorbike behind me. At the moment, the reason why I'm holding off is because even though I'm in a fairly cheap part of the world, not for the motorbike necessarily, that'd be cheaper in Spain, but the trailer, the reason why I've held off is because the price that people try to charge you for having a trailer, it's just stupid. So maybe I'm better off just buying a bike and riding around and chaining it to there in the meantime until or maybe just buying a bike in each place I go and leaving it behind at my friends' places. I don't know, whatever. Something will work itself out. I'm a bit, what's the word, in two minds about whether I get a cruiser or a Mercedes, sorry, a BMW GS. Because I do like the ability to go off road, but I do like, there's just something about a cruiser. There's nothing like riding a cruiser on the road, you know. Just, you know, you go somewhere like Riviera or something like that, and or even mountain roads like you get in Colorado, some beautiful smooth roads there. Nothing better than riding a bike, and a cruiser at that. If the back window ever got smashed, I would just replace it with something solid and make the whole thing blue. Because the window doesn't do anything. You can't get to it because it's got a board behind it, that vinyl that you saw on the inside. Well, basically the AC sits right behind that, just so you can picture it from the outside. Miles per gallon, I need to work that out sometime. But we just went 400 kilometers yesterday on half a tank. So that's just under 50 liters. I don't know how it does that. It's just, it doesn't seem possible. All right, it seems like the situation with the airlines. You look inside and you think, hang on, if that has 180,000 liters, that's like the same, you know, that's like 18 hippopotamuses across the wings of that 777. How can it, because I did a video on this before and I was in an airport somewhere in Europe, and I came off the flight and with this, I think it was a Dreamliner, and I was looking up the stats and I was like, there's no way that 20 hippopotamuses worth of fuel sit across those wings. There's something up. They're not being told something. Those wings are, they couldn't fit 2 hippopotami worth of liquid in each wing. Yet, amazingly, there's apparently nearly 20. So, I don't know. This fuel situation, this thing boggles my mind. But I'm not going to complain because it's really, really good. All right, I'll see you later.